Hey guys, Boris from BK Forex. Welcome to our Forex daily technicals for 11/22/13. As always, trading foreign exchange on margin carries a high level risk, may not be suitable for all investors. I ask you to read this disclaimer very carefully to understand all the risks associated with trading margin and to seek advice from an independent financial advisor if you have any doubts. Very interesting day today. Lots of breakouts in dollar yen, lots of breakouts in other currency yen crosses. It's really been very much this story. So we talked yesterday about the idea that 150 was a first resist level, and the 101.50 was the second resist level. And this is really where we're basically headed as we are moving in the yen pairs. It's really going to be a test of the 101.50 level here. If we can have the power to move through this level as the night progresses, then it really opens up very much a run all the way out to the yearly highs at 104. Basically, we have a green light on all things dollar relative to the yen due to the fact the market now is convinced that we're going to have a taper either in December or January, but taper sooner rather than later. And that, of course, creates a very strong pro-dollar trade here in dollar yen as BOJ remains very accommodative. What's interesting, I think, in many ways, is that despite the fact that the Fed is relatively hawkish, we're not seeing the kind of collapse of the anti-dollars that you would expect. And I think part of the reason why you're seeing the recovery in the euro is really a function of the fact that it's getting a benefit of the risk flows. Now, ironically, the one currency pair that's supposed to get a benefit of the risk flows is the Aussie dollar, but it has its own story. What's happening in the currency market in many ways, I think, is just fascinating because every single currency pair is kind of going its own way. So if you look at the euro caught support here at 3,400 on the fact that Germany still continues to grow and kind of the only engine within the Eurozone that continues to pull it along. We have IFO tonight. We'll see if that's going to be strong enough to pull us back to the 3,500s. Having said this, though, from a technical point of view, we had a bearish engulfing 2 days ago. And as long as, well, not quite a bearish engulfing because it didn't take out the highs here, but certainly a very negative signal 2 days ago. And as long as the highs here, 35.80 or so, hold, the longer-term signal here is negative. Although within that structure, you certainly could have further retraces and clearly a pushback up towards the 3,500s as a possibility, 35.50 even as a possibility on a retrace. But having said this, this big candle still operates as a dominant negative bias, and until and unless it's taken out and completely erased, you have to trust the fact that it's going to be a negative trade. Look at it the other way, though, and this is, I think, is kind of interesting, is the fact that we're starting now to build up a new, fresh uptrend in the euro. Because if this low holds today, if we get the move to the upside, you basically have a set of higher lows. And not only will you be able to erase this negative candle, but we've already erased the Mario Draghi negative candle, and that in turn actually turns what looked like pretty much a break in the head and shoulders into a much more positive upward trending channel. One of the interesting things about, of course, technicals is that depending on how they turn out, a bearish shape can turn into a bullish shape very quickly. So that's why we have to be very nimble and flexible in analyzing what's going on. For now, in the most immediate near term, it looks bullish rather than bearish, given the fact that we hold the 34s. If the 34s are given tonight, then the bearish trend is back in place, and we're targeting the 33s for a double bottom test. So the other currency pair that actually did very well today is pound. Pound broke out really at the close of the session, all the way up to the 62s. But now, and this is where it comes to, I think, a really moment of truth here. This 62.50 is very chunky area. And we got to see how well it performs over here. If we can get further strength in the pound, this really translates into an incredibly powerful move in pound yen. Where's my pound yen here? Look at a pound yen. Look at this massive breakout. You've got to, if you're a breakout trader, you just got to love this this candle. This just suggests further upside, either through the help of the yen or through the help of the pound. Basically, I think pound yen certainly looks as the healthiest and the strongest of the yen crosses. But following right on the heels of it, euro yen looks pretty good too, because we took out the 36s and certainly looking pretty healthy here above the 50s. A little bit further tip, and we could be looking at 37s if we get that moving in to the 101.50s in dollar yen. So both of the yen crosses look really good. And as a matter of fact, I think if you're going to be making sort of long bets here, the yen crosses look the best. Both the euro yen and the pound yen, not any of the other yen crosses, which are lagging. And speaking of the laggards, and this is the most important thing I think for the end of the week, is look at this laggard. Despite the fact that we've had a pretty decent move in all the risk pairs, this pair is collapsing completely, and that's of course because of the statement overnight from Governor Stevens. They are open to the idea of currency intervention. They really want the Aussie down. They don't want it over here. They want it at 90 or below, and they're going to try and do everything in their power to sell it down. So you see the Aussie on a relative basis just getting crushed. Of course, Euro Aussie was a big winner today. Where's my Euro Aussie? Here's my Euro. Oops, sorry, I hit the wrong pair. Here's my Euro Aussie. Big breakout above the 45s, which really opens up a run now towards the 48s. The really super big top in Euro Aussie is the 150, still far away from that. But we certainly open up scope here for a run towards the 48s in the Euro Aussie on the crosses. So in many ways, I think it's really going to be a story of the crosses as much as it is a story of the majors, and it's really worth watching pound yen, Euro Aussie for the rest of the night as we go into the weekend. Wish you guys the best of luck and the best of trading. It's Boris Schlossberg over now.